everyone, this is your host Emma Emerson for Golden Icons, and we are here with the beautiful, talented on-air personality with over 1 million followers, and she's recently best-selling author.
Keep watching.
Golden Icons.
Golden Icon.
Golden Icon. Golden Icons.
Golden
Icons.
Golden Icons.
Golden Icons.
Golden Icon.
Golden Icons.com.
Golden Icon.
Golden Icons. Not too much, man. One love.
Drop the remote. I say me don't touch the guy, the big remote. Keep and sit down back.
Miss TOKE, MAKINWA. Nice to meet you.
Introduction.
Yay! Well, I'm sure you've been gearing up for this big tour here in the United States. You've been all over the world, obviously. Your stardom has gone to a different level. That I'm so happy for you, because we started off watching you on YouTube.
Yes.
When I was introduced to you, it was through one of your videos. It was during the December period, and you were inviting girls to Lagos to have fun, and all the cool people to hook them up with, if you want to have a good time. And then I saw you kind of like our little idol that just tells us, oh, this is what you guys are supposed to be doing in your 20s. Have fun. It seems like you were an advisor. A relationship advisor.
I didn't call myself that.
You didn't call yourself
I just had fun with it, and people
took you seriously.
And there's nothing wrong with that, because sometimes I see myself as, we know how we grew up. We knew how some of us had strict parents, and we all had one cool aunt who would tell absolutely.
That's how I see you.
And that cool aunt, you could confide in.
Right.
She didn't judge you. She let you live just a little bit. So so that in my mind, I see myself as that sort of person.
You always came across as the girl next door. Did you ever feel like, even, back to people viewing you as some kind of relationship advisor, did you feel like even with your videos, you had to put up a front most of the time, even when you were going through what you were going through?
No, the funny thing is, anyone who goes through, even, let's talk about relationships for instance. You have good days, you have bad days. There's no, the bad phases give way to the good times as well. So there's no point where you sit there and think, oh, my life is so bad, or because, so it was never really about me. Sometimes, I get topics more people talk about, sometimes conversations with friends, sometimes, so it wasn't about me, and I never thought I had a bad life. I never thought I had a bad marriage, I never thought I was in a bad situation. I knew that we had problems, but everybody does, sometimes it's teething problems, and nobody sets out to want to go through a divorce or want to come to the end of the road, because everybody keeps trying, you try with years, you try with months, you try with moments. So it wasn't really oh my god, my life is bad, and I'm sitting here talking to people out there and I wonder if they would ever know my life is bad, maybe I should downplay my life. I never really had those thoughts.
Knowing the fact that you are a celebrity, and we live in the kind of community in the kind of society we live in, where they will judge you for almost everything that you do. Was it hard coming out with this story, knowing the fact that some people would look at you different, or they would judge you a lot more different? Or did you feel like telling your story was important in maintaining your brand?
Yeah, well, it had nothing to do with the brand, for instance, because I feel like as African women, either you're African American or from the Latin community, or even just being a woman, a white woman as well, the pressure is really tough. We're put under so much pressure, and then we put ourselves under so much pressure as well. Society is constantly telling you who to be and how to be because you're a woman. At some point you weren't heard. At some point, people look at you and say, oh, because she's a woman, you're driving and someone feels, oh, she's a woman. It's almost in a condescending manner. And I feel like growing up, all the pictures we saw to depict a strong woman was pictures of women struggling. Either she has 3 calabash, or she's carrying maybe a calabash and 3 actually a child, and dragging 2, and it's almost like, geez, must we be looked at this way? But being vulnerable is also a sign of strength. And because the world sort of makes us look weak, then we feel like to ourselves being vulnerable is being weak, but it's not. And I felt like it's high time we begin to control our narrative. It's high time we begin to tell our story so that the world does not tell it for us. So as a woman who had walked through a path that I was unsure, I was okay to let the world know that I wasn't sure. If I'd made mistakes, I was okay to let, because I could deal with myself.
Yeah.
And once I could deal with myself, the world was a second place, and I feel like if 1 or 2 or 3 people out there can, sort of read this book and feel like life is not that bad. For me, it may have been a divorce. For someone else, it might be a sick child. For somebody else, it might be dealing with that job, that is just, everything just seems to go left, and it's a book to sort of restore some hope in you, and it's just to let people know that regardless of where you find yourself, it's in stages and phases, and you wouldn't always be here. So,
when you meet some of your fans that have actually read your book, what is the thing that they pick on the most that still amazes you today?
I find that a lot of people, a lot of women say to me, your book gave me the strength to make a change, to leave that relationship or quit that job or do, because I deserve that I am becoming and I deserve more. And this also woke something up inside of me, because I realized that sometimes as women, we're not as empowered as we should be, regardless of how we think things have changed and women are now assuming top positions. A lot of women are not as empowered as they should be. What if you lose your spouse? What then happens to you? Some people are stuck in relationships where things are not working out, but they're there because they have no other place to go, and it's a lie. Your mind plays those tricks on you. Your situation reminds you that after all, I never thought I would find someone, and now that I have someone, just staying there, and we keep prolonging the exit sign, and eventually it's going to come. So I feel like a lot more women need to sort of realize the power that is in them, and the fact that we're not weak. You have been given the power of strength, and you can use that strength regardless of where you find yourself and how you want your life to be, basically.
So saying that, what took you so long, you think, to get out of that relationship? Because in your book, you mentioned several times, like it was a lot of back and forth. Sometimes you would leave and then you would stay. And a lot of people find themselves
we've all been
in that
there.
situation.
We've all been
We
there.
want to go.
We've all told ourselves
So-
this is no more. This relationship is done. Even with this job, sometimes we tell ourselves, deep down that you deserve better. You should be earning higher. You know that you're smarter than your boss, but you sit there and tell yourself, if I leave this job, where would I find the next? What if I'm at home for a long time? What if no one hires me? What if my time has passed? Because those are the sort of conversations we have with ourselves. So, and with relationships, it's the same. Nobody wants to seem like a quitter. Nobody wants to seem like you quit. So you don't realize that time is passing and the years are doubling up. You just see yourself as growing with this person, and we went through this struggle and we're now better for it. So, it's so funny how, growing up in a lot of craziness, and it just makes you feel like dysfunction is the new healthy. Do you know what I mean? You feel like when someone hurts you, you just need to stick around because it shows that you're strong and you're ride or die. That's for your 20s, man. Like, at some point, you can't be riding or die, girl. You need to ditch the ride or die and get it moving. So, but I'm thankful for my journey, and I regret nothing. I'm quick to tell people, regret is so exhausting. I feel like everything that's happened to me and for me has happened for a reason, for a time like this. And I'm happy and I'm grateful that I can share all that I've been through, and I can inspire someone. So,
and you're inspiring a lot of people. How did you stay so long without saying anything?
That's the thing again. It wasn't about other people. It was about, I was just trying to survive. A lot of people would see me and I'd be like, "You're so strong," but I wasn't always strong. I had moments where I didn't want to get out of bed. I had moments where I cradled the toilet seat till the sun came up, and if I didn't let the world see that, then I'm being dishonest. I wasn't always strong, but I had nothing to say. And I'm someone who likes to speak from a rational place. I don't like to speak from an emotional place, because you say things that you regret. So for me, in those moments, I wasn't granting any interviews because I was just trying to stay alive.
So what do you think of situations like Tone Jules and Tiwa, where they came out on air to clarify their own situation while the drama was happening? They came out to clarify.
No one's situation is similar. No one. That's a very unfair judgment, because people deal with things. Sometimes people are a bit too harsh. And then what is so sickening and sad is half of those who are pointing fingers, your life is not that
any better.
Some of you are living in that situation, and you hate it so much that person had the strength to do what you cannot do. So instead of embracing and giving her the kudos and saying, "You know what, I admire your strength, this is what I want my daughter to be like, this is who I want to relate. You hate on it because it reminds you of where you are. But it's okay, you know, when you're ready, you're ready. Do you know what I mean? So until you're ready, no one can tell you otherwise. But I feel like, you know, it's different for different people. You know, how do you sit there and judge someone for talking about, you know, situations she went through when you are probably dealing with the same thing or something even worse, you know? Shouldn't that sort of make you even a bit more compassionate? You know, we live in a world that is a bit, you know, crazy, and then to each its own. Whatever works for you, by all means, do it, just as long as you can sleep well at night.
Yeah. Is cheating the worst thing a man can do to a woman?
I don't think cheating is the worst thing. I think cheating is really bad because I don't think men realize how bad and how horrible and what it does.
Do you feel like Nigerian men feel like they have this right to just have multiple?
I don't even think it's Nigerian men. I think it's, you know, we owe it to ourselves to raise better boys. I feel like, you know, the generation before, our parents' generation failed us in so many ways. Girls were raised and trained. You were not allowed to eat with your mouth open as a girl. You were not allowed to wear certain things. You were told to sit with your legs crossed. But guys could do absolutely anything. Now that man grows up and he thinks he's entitled. How do you now start to reinforce and re-educate him that, look, you need to do or be better and make better decisions? Some people, they grew up in polygamy, so how do you tell that man that, you know, having 2 or 3, 4 women is bad because he watched his daddy do it, so he watched his grandfather do it? So it's definitely something that we need to now begin to work on. We need to begin to raise better boys, raise better, you know, nephews, raise better cousins, educate people that are not even related to you. It might be someone who works with you who you know is on the wrong path, you know, because cheating eats you up. It just destroys it. Someone who is totally confident becomes less than herself and the shadow of who she used to be, and it just eats at you. You know, sometimes you blame yourself for something that you have no business blaming yourself for as well. So the pressure is enough.
With you getting out of having a divorce and going through that process, when you were leaving, from 1 to 10, let's say your confidence, from 0 to 10, confidence being really high at 10, what would you say you were when you're talking about self-esteem?
It's not self-esteem. I mean, the confidence for me,
you know, you see it differently?
I see it differently. I feel like, you know, when you want to start a business, you do have confidence issues as well. Who goes into a business being so sure? You might get slapped in the face a couple of months. So I welcome fear because I think that fear is not a bad thing. I think that fear is a warning signal and a sign that lets you and helps you stay on course. So when people are terrified of being afraid, I kind of tell them otherwise. Welcome the fear. It helps you from making stupid decisions. You know? So I was afraid. I did not know what I was doing. I questioned myself every single day. And then, you know, just like learning to ride a bike, you literally just, you know, you go with it. You know, with each day it becomes easier. Not better, but easier. And at some point you realize that, you know what, it's been a couple of months, it's been a couple of hours, and I'm good, and I'm breathing, I'm fine. And, you know, there's purpose for me, and the purpose always outweighs the pain.
One thing I liked about your book is the fact that everyone can relate to it. There were so many parts that funny enough, I got the book from Shek. Shek was the one that was like, hey, you know, you need to go read it, and I didn't waste time. I was on it. And one thing you said was, you know, one of the reasons why you said was, you know, the devil you know is better than the angel you don't know.
Because we tell ourselves that. You know, but
you know, do you still believe that?
No. Why do we need to have, you know, the devil? I think we as human beings, I mean, Banky said this once and it made me laugh, and he says we give the devil too much credit and God too much work. And it's what the devil made that man rape his child. The devil made you steal. The devil made you commit something. Or when something, oh, by God's grace, oh, God helping, God willing. Sometimes we can give him brains, and, you know, as I said earlier, I have no regrets because, you know, my growing years are what it is, and every single situation and circumstance and whatever it is I've been through has brought me here. When I look back, I would not change anything.
When you found out that you were being sued by him, how did you feel?
The lawyers are on it. I mean, let the lawyers do what they know how to do best. Yeah, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't have any comments on that.
And you guys have not had any kind of communication, nothing? Did you have to rearrange your friends? Because 10 years, that's a lot of friendships that were built between you two, or did you guys just...
I think everyone, we're fine. I mean,
everyone picks their side?
No, I don't think so. I think, you know, we're friends. We'll always remain friends, and just because something happened, it doesn't mean that you stop being friends with certain people. So we are cool. Everybody's okay. Everybody will be fine. As from famous Nigerians, they will be alright.
You guys will be alright. Yes. So if you were to go back in time and you had a second chance, what would you have done differently?
That's a very, very good question. What would I have done? Maybe I would have been a bit more patient. I realized that in my life in general, I was in a hurry to grow up.
Or fall in love. Because you did say in your book that you fell in love too quickly.
Well, because I was in a hurry to grow up. My growing years, and I like to say to a lot of 20-year-olds out there today, enjoy the process, man. You never get these golden years back. Why are you in so much of a hurry? I was, you just want things to happen fast, want things to happen a certain type of way, but just take it easy, man. Life will happen when it's meant to happen, and how it's meant to happen.
Do you still fall in love quickly?
Well, I would always be a lover girl. I'd say that because love is one of the biggest gifts I think God has given us as human beings, and just to share and partake in falling in love, the process of having someone else make you so happy and you make the person happy as well. It's such a beautiful feeling, regardless of how many times it did not work out. So
what's amazing is that you make it sound so easy. You went over a decade with somebody.
The thing
that is not easy to start dating it again.
But the truth of the matter is, you have to keep the faith alive. You cannot judge with every situation because of one bad. So you had a car accident, you would never ride a car again.
Yeah.
That's really bad. So you would never try to cross the road again because someone tried to run you off. Nah, it's people are different, and just getting to know people. It's amazing what you learn.
So have you been dating?
Well,
like a few dates? You've been going out on dates?
I'm a girl, so of course, nice to, take me out to dinner, nice to, have a drink.
Do you have a certain
type? I've always had a type, but I'm trying not to go for my type.
Because that keeps your type is bad.
That gets you into trouble. So keep an open mind. If you like, these people boxes are just, just keep an open mind. You never know. Sometimes you think things will happen one way, and that is my biggest lesson with unbecoming. You think things will happen one way. We think we are the architects of our own lives, and we're not. We're not. It's very interesting to see how sometimes you have it all planned out in your head, and you're so sure that this is how things are meant to be, and that doesn't happen, and you fall apart. But you put yourself back together again and hope, and something beautiful just might happen around the corner.
And if you think that, let's say you meet one of your fans and she's like, hey, I'm having this tough situation, it's hard listening to my head and listening to my heart at the same time, how do you listen to both?
I'll tell you this, your head is always right, bro. Your heart is very intense, but your head is always right. Even in business, sometimes you see this, you want to pay for this place because you think that, this place is so nice, if I could start my business here, just this, and your head keeps telling you your finances are not right, but you try to convince yourself to match what your head is saying. Maybe you just give yourself a little time, work a little bit more, you can make some more money, and your head can tell you that. So, I've learned that your head is always right. Always go with your head.
So, Toki, I'm not gonna lie to you, you get some hate.
Everyone does. I think everyone does.
But how do you feel when, maybe like you don't mean anything bad by a certain post and then people take it the wrong way? Or no matter what, either people are just always going to see you the way they see you. So how do you deal when you get those kind of negative comments?
It's very important for you to not just focus on the good or take the good and leave the bad, as with everything in life. Because once you do that, you're being very selfish, and then there are people that will always misunderstand you, the people that will always, not get who you're all about, and that's okay. Because, people are used to having different opinions anyway, so, and opinions haven't paid any bills yet, so it's very important for me personally, I don't dwell too much on it. I don't see it as hate. I think that with the internet these days, sometimes people do just get noticed. Nobody's sleeping at home at 12 a.m. and thinking, I just hate this TOKE girl. I just want to scratch her eye. I don't think it's that serious, So comments here, there, it's never really that serious. So I don't take myself that seriously to start to think or wonder about how I feel about the haters, because I think it's just so much time lost doing crazy stuff, thinking, oh, so people don't like me. Why do I think they don't like me? Or how do I deal with them? Just roll the punches. There will always be people who are not going to see things through your own view, and that's okay. The things that you don't completely agree with, does that make you a hater?
Yeah. Well, my question is, like, there's this thing that I know that I saw a lot of, and it's people saying that they maybe couldn't understand why you would want to date, even though he's your husband or your boyfriend at that time, that you will gladly share him. Like, what made it okay for you to think that was okay?
That was
to
false. So how do you expect me to react to something that is completely false? Nobody goes into a relationship, or no woman on this earth is sitting there thinking, yeah, I'm just going to take this guy and share him. So, it now makes you laugh because you find people thinking that you willingly, or, at the end of the day, could there possibly be a case where the person wasn't being honest and maybe the parties involved did not know about each other? But, again, people just like to run with what they think makes them sleep well at night. And that's fine, just as long as you know your truth and you're living in it and walking in it, it doesn't really matter.
Do women think that we can change men?
I think that
Did you feel like
no
you
one
could?
can change. The aim was never, I never at any point came across as trying to change my fellow sister, talk less of another person. You don't go around thinking that you're here to change people. You can be a source of inspiration to influence certain things and certain decisions that they make. But nobody sits here and thinks you have the power and you to change it. You can't even change yourself. You still do certain things that makes you sit there and think, okay, did you really do that? Oh my God, what was I thinking? So it was never about thinking one could change.
But and this is for, maybe you being there for as long as you were. You didn't really think in the end of the day that you were there because you thought he was going to change? You didn't have that mental?
It depends on when you say someone's going to change, what are you trying to change?
Like that thing that you don't like?
Yeah, but it's like you have siblings. You guys don't always see eye to eye. So do you sit there and think my sister is this way because I don't agree with certain things she does? People need to be more real with themselves. You live in a house with people who have different characters, and you grew up with your siblings, and you have one sister who maybe talks too much, another sister who probably doesn't like to leave places tidy. So do you now say, I hate my sister because she doesn't tidy up after herself? Life is, there's so much more, and I don't really look at myself as being on this earth to change anybody, because I think let God do what He's supposed to do. You can just live your life and maybe be a source of inspiration to someone and make the person maybe find a way to sort of emulate some things about you.
Toki, thank you so much for being so real. I like how honest you are and how authentic you are in answering your questions, because these are tough questions.
Are they?
To me they are, because you have to relive it. You don't think so? Talking to that many people about what you've been through.
Again, you never know what someone else is going through, dealing with, and just, watching this might just, register one or two things in their minds that can ultimately help their situation. So it's okay.
Yeah, maybe you're talking about it now and you're okay. Because you're okay, you're not bitter about your past. I got you.
That's what it is.
Yeah, it's got to be that. I hope everyone really understands the message and actually go and read this book.
Yes.
Because this book is really an eye-opener, and like I said, everyone can relate from it,
Yeah, we've all had that, crazy relationship, or that crazy job, or that crazy boss at work that just seemed like the person was from hell and sent to kill you, but they taught you so much more than you let yourself realize, because you had that hard boss. Now that you're a boss, you make better decisions and you look up for those under you because no one gave you a chance. Now that you walk through that door, as Michelle Obama said, you look up for those who are coming behind you because you have a duty and you have a responsibility to do things differently.
Before we go, tell me, what's that one sign that if you see, you should run in every time?
In a relationship?
Yes.
There's plenty of signs, so.
Okay, fine.
And for the guys as well.
Okay, yeah.
For the guys as well.
Let's do,
you know what I mean?
Let's do three biggies.
For me,
if you see this, you run.
Right now in my life, signs that like a man who is not secure, a man who always wants to know who you're talking to, who's that person calling you, who's this, who's that, nah, I like a confident man. Number two, time will start in general. Someone who just has too much stories. Like, I beg, my dreams are enough for me to hear story on. I don't want to hear story on dating. I'm trying to build an empire. I can hear the story of this is not working, the plumbing is wrong today, this TV station cancelled. I don't want to have to deal with that in a relationship. Three, I would say, man, those lies. When you meet a man, listen carefully to all the things he says to you. In 3 months, bring out that book and check if these things are the same, because some of them, they will say several things. Hey, and later you're like, well, you told me this, and it's too late because you're already in love, and then the man will now use sense to even chance your talk. In my 30s, no,
3 months.
3-4 months. Because people, when you start dating, I tell people, you're dating her assistant, she's dating your assistant. That's not the real people. Everyone is putting on good for, you like this, you like that. Oh, wait. 3 months afterwards, then you cannot ask that same question, and then you might get the real answer. But just joking, not just joking.
Hold on.
Serious.
You said something before in the past, like, in your 20s, go ahead and explore, have all the fun you want. And so within that 3 months, do you believe that, you should explore sexually? What if the guy tells you, no sex? What if the guy tells you he doesn't want to have sex?
Then he's a keeper. You should marry that person tomorrow. Yes, try to get into her mind. Why are you trying to get into her mind? Don't listen to me. But the thing is, I feel like people always listen to what they want to listen to. What that video simply meant is do the right thing at the right time. Now you go to nightclubs and you see like 45, 50-year-olds. What are you people doing in a nightclub? Did you not have the time to party when they were much younger? Do you know what I mean? You find people making mistakes that they should have made, and they should have gotten away with, when you're in your early 20s or late teenage years, and you do those crazy things, and you did it. You lived life. Now it's time to settle down. That's what that video meant. But then of course people will take out whatever they want to take out, and try to interpret it however. But I feel like it's very important for you to be in the now. That's really the message. If you spend all your hours and your days worrying about what's to come, you're missing out moments that you cannot get back.
Thank you so much, Ms. MAKINWA. And for more questions or more comments on this interview, you guys can go ahead and log on to www.goldenicons.com.
Once again, we are here with the beautiful, lovely Miss TOKE MAKINWA, and this is your host, Emma Emerson. Thank you guys. Have a good night.